March in foresight keeps you on your toes. Snow one day, sunshine the next. Maybe it's your season for a change. At Hickory Point Garden Homes, enjoy one-story duplex living with no maintenance and no worries. To learn more, click our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
From the Hart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. There's been a lot of talk about tax increment financing districts and how they can benefit Clinton as the growth of the community begins to snowball. At the Monday night Clinton City Council meeting, Tony Kokomo with Heartland Development Systems, LLC, presented on the benefits and opportunities of creating a TIF district for a new potential housing development on Route 54 across from Dollar General. He shared what those developments could look like.
We brought you a package today to look at some of the things that you might want to consider. A little brief information about us. So it's a combination of people with marketing and financing, and Mike and his team in construction and hard stuff. So we proposed for this parcel. This is one of several parcels that we're looking at right here. The one on 54 East across from Dollar General there. There's a really attractive piece. And obviously you're under a lot of pressure here because of the great job that Kurt's done and the economic development here, and 2 or 3 large companies moving in right in your neighborhood. And one of the things you'll notice, by the way, is I very strongly believe that one of the great problems with American housing today is we stopped building small owner-occupied multifamily, 2, 3, and 4 flats. They're not duplexes, but where someone lives in one and rents the other one out to family or close friends like that. And that's a big part of the housing problem today. And everybody's interested in seeing this. So these are 4 buildings with 4 units each. This is going on property we have down in Monroe, just south of us.
Kokomo noted that if between 30 and 32 units can be built, then a TIF district would be very beneficial. That development could bring close to $200,000 in real estate tax revenue to the city.
I also included some information here about what happened with the TIF. You'll see this little outline that I put together for that, just as a ballpark idea of what we think can happen here. If we put in about 30 units, between 30 to 32 units, somewhere between 26 to 28 of the 2 units that I showed you the picture of, and 4 to 5 units that are smaller 4-unit buildings. All right, and you try to do a combination of these because that piece on 54, I think the cross street is North Street, and you need to transition from that lower end housing to this. So that's how you transition from a 4 to a 2. And this just gives you an idea. We are working with Warren Ridley from SIUE, who could help us issue these bonds or work with us with the city to issue bonds. Let's give you a ballpark idea of the kind of, that piece right now pays about $600 a year in taxes. If we put these 30 to 32 units in there, it's going to go up to somewhere in the $180,000 to $190,000 a year in real estate taxes. So it gives you an awful lot of revenue to work with to pay for a bond that's going to pay for the infrastructure.
Due to Clinton's central location within 5 larger cities in central Illinois, Kokomo says it is a very desirable place to develop with a lot of potential for economic development. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWitt County's #1 source for news, sports, police blotter, obituaries, and more. It's DeWittDailyNews.com.
Are you looking for a new doctor? Someone who makes you feel heard? At Memorial Care, our primary care physicians and advanced practice providers do more than checkups. They also check in, listening to your needs, discussing your health trends, and advocating for you, especially when you notice a change. They're people you can trust from a trusted healthcare leader. Memorial Care. Real care. Real connections. Learn more at memorial.health/primary care.
Here's Clinton Save-A-Lot owner Dave Jackson on how he works to save you money every day.
I know the retails at the stores in Decatur probably better than most of the people in the stores know. I monitor this closely so customers do not have to. And then you don't have to spend $40 or $30 driving round trip at 60 cents a mile to Decatur or Lincoln or Bloomington. That's real numbers. It's 60, 70 cents a mile to drive your car.
And as Clinton Save-A-Lot owner Dave Jackson always says,
hope to see you soon.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. A 4-run second inning proved to be the difference as Heyworth topped Clinton 5-3 in the Maroons season opener on Wednesday afternoon at Clinton High School in non-conference high school baseball action. The Hornets jumped out to a 4-0 lead at the top of the second. With 2 runners on, Parker Bell reached a fielder's choice that saw Caleb Troja score on an error to open the scoring. Carter Brooks then helped his own cause with an RBI single to left, scoring Keegan Gresham. Braden Leish then grounded out to second, allowing Bell to cross the plate. Jackson Law capped the frame with a sharp single to second base, scoring Brooks to give Heyworth a commanding 4-0 lead before they even took the field. The Maroons clawed back in the third. Jackson Reynolds sparked the rally with a single and stole second and third base. Josh Bass drove him in with a single to the shortstop to put Clinton on the board. Later in the frame, with 2 runners on, Cole Fentress delivered a 2-run double to center field, bringing home Ryan Pine and Colin Bostic to cut the deficit to 4-3. The Hornets added an insurance run in the top of the 7th to push the final margin to 5-3. Carter Brooks earned the win on the mound, striking out 4 over 3 innings of work. Leish fired 4 shutout innings of relief. The junior struck out 7 and allowed just 1 hit to secure the victory. Brooks finished 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored to lead the Hornets' bats. Law was 2 for 3 with an RBI, while Denning and Troja each added a hit. Jack Manning took the loss, striking out 5 over 5 innings of work. Jaden Bell fanned 4 and allowed just 1 run over the final 2 frames. Cole Fentress led the offense, going 2 for 3 with a double and 2 RBIs. Bass finished 2 for 3 with an RBI, while Reynolds and Manning each added hits for the Maroons. Heyworth starts its season 1-0. They will travel to Central A&M tomorrow for a non-conference matchup. Clinton starts the season 0-1. They look to bounce back this Friday when they host Lexington at 4:30 p.m. An 8-run third inning propelled Monticello to a season-opening 15-4 win over Villa Grove in non-conference high school baseball action Wednesday in Villa Grove. Leading 5-0, the Sages blew the game open with 8 runs in the third inning. After Forrest Rodden scored on a wild pitch, Garrett Quick grounded out to score Matthias Rudolph. Cole Bassick then doubled to score Dawson Gatros, who singled, followed by Coy Williams' RBI single. Grant Kiger capped the rally with a 2-run home run to left field to put the Sages up 11-0. Rodden and Rudolph later added RBI singles in the frame to complete the 8-run outburst and put Monticello up 13-0. Connor Himes earned the victory on the mound, allowing 1 run on 2 hits over 3 innings of work. The junior struck out 5 and walked 3. Dawson Gatros pitched the final 2 innings in relief, striking out 4. Williams finished 3 for 4 with a double, a triple, and 4 RBIs. Kiger was 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs. Bassick and Gatros each finished with a hit, while Hayden Romano added a double for the Sages. The Sages are 1-0 and travel to Anna Jonesboro on Friday. Monticello overpowered Villa Grove 18-7, pounding out 18 runs on 19 hits in season opening non-conference high school softball action Wednesday in Villa Grove. Thea Key and Madison Highland each launched a home run in the offensive onslaught. Key finished 4 for 6 with 2 doubles and 5 RBIs, including a 2-run blast to left field in the second inning. Highland added her own 3-run shot to center in the second, part of a 4 RBI performance. The Lady Sages set the tone in the first inning, jumping out to a 5-0 lead. Sadie Walsh sparked the rally with a leadoff triple, followed immediately by an RBI double from Key. Isabella Beery and Allie Widener kept the pressure on with RBI singles, and Kaylin Matthews capped the opening surge with an RBI double to right. Widener was 3 for 4 on the afternoon with 4 RBIs. Beery finished 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 4 runs scored. Cassidy Stoffel reached 3 times, scored 3 runs, and added 2 stolen bases. In circle, Stoffel earned the win, striking out 4 over 3 and 1/3 innings of work. Highland took over in relief, navigating the final 3 2/3 innings to lock down the victory. The Lady Sages start the year 1-0. They are back in action tomorrow as they continue this early season road stretch at Arthur Levington Atwood Hammond. Lincoln used timely hitting and a dominant start from Karsten Futin to sneak past Tri-Valley 2-1 in its season opener on Wednesday in Lincoln in non-conference high school boys baseball action. Trailing 1-0 in the second, the Rail Splitters evened the score after Chase March doubled to left and Carson Komnick drove him in with a single to right. Lincoln scored the go-ahead run in the fifth when Austin Lucas drew a walk, advanced to second on a wild pitch, and then swiped third before coming home on the same play, making it 2-1. March led the offensive effort, finishing 2 for 3 with that key double. Komnick, Tate Au, Lake Lucas, and Cooper Kohler each added a hit for the Rail Splitters. Carson Futin fired 6 innings of 1-run ball, scattering 7 hits while striking out 6. Grady Rutledge threw a hitless 7th to secure the save. The Rail Splitters start the season 1-0. They will host Riverton this Friday at 4:30 p.m. Normal U-High used a high-powered offense and a dominant pitching performance to shut out Normal West 10-0 in non-conference high school baseball season opening action for both teams Wednesday at Wildcat Field in Normal. The Pioneers jumped out to an early lead with 3 runs in the first inning and added another in the third. U-High extended the margin with 2 runs in the 4th, 6th, and 7th innings to pull away, while holding the Wildcats to just 4 hits on the afternoon. Landon Stelty led the Wildcats offense, finishing 2 for 3 at the plate. Sam McCauley and Jack Steidinger each added a hit for West. Ty Backman and Stelty both recorded stolen bases in the contest. Backman took the loss on the mound, striking out 6 batters over 2 1/3 innings of work. Jasper Pomus provided a long relief appearance, striking out 6 and allowing 2 earned runs over 2 2/3 innings. Parker Roop earned the win for the Pioneers, striking out 4 and allowing just 1 hit over 3 2/3 innings. Caleb Hornbrook led the U-High attack, going 4 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Griffin Meyer and Roop each added 2 hits in the win. Normal West falls to 0-1 on the season. U-High is 1-0. The Wildcats are back in action Thursday afternoon as they travel to take on Morton at 4:30 p.m. before heading to Alabama next week. Bradley Baseball closed out its weekend series at Thomas Stadium on Sunday afternoon, falling to ETSU by a final score of 15-2. The Buccaneers used early offensive production to seize control and never looked back, finishing the series with a strong showing at the plate. ETSU struck first in the opening inning with 2 runs before delivering the decisive blow in the second, scoring 6 times to build an 8-0 advantage. The Buccaneers continued to apply pressure in the middle innings, adding 2 runs in the third and 4 more in the fourth to extend their lead. Bradley broke through in the 5th inning. Luke Skinner continued his strong weekend at the plate, recording his 3rd hit of the game and driving in a run. Landon Lowe followed with a sacrifice fly to bring home Angelo Alman and cut the deficit to 14-2. Skinner led the Braves offensively, finishing a perfect 3 for 3 with an RBI and a walk. Lowe added 2 hits and an RBI, while Michael Quick also recorded a hit as Bradley totaled 7 hits in the contest. Davis Webb started on the mound for Bradley and was charged in a loss after allowing 8 runs over 1.2 innings. Ryan Schaffnit worked 1.1 innings in relief, while Eli Lehrman and Robert Sanford combined to finish the game out of the bullpen. ETSU's offense produced 15 hits in the game, led by Jamie Palmise, who recorded 4 hits and 2 RBIs. Tristan Curlis drove in 4 runs, while Gabe Juarez added a home run and 2 RBIs to power the Buccaneers lineup. The Illinois State baseball program earned a 6-5 victory over SIUE on Wednesday afternoon at Duffy Bass Field. The Redbirds are winners of 6 straight and improved to 14-7. Brayton Bakes matched a career best hit total with a 4 for 5 performance in the victory and stood a double shy of the cycle. Bakes leads the Redbirds with 13 multi-hit games in 2026. Luke Stolga added a pair of hits, including his 2nd home run of the season with a 3-run home run in the 1st inning. In the home half of the 1st inning, Illinois State jumped out to a 3-0 lead after a leadoff walk from Camden Karchewski and a base hit from Brayton Bakes put runners on to set up Stolga's 3-run homer. An inning later, after Stolga's homer, SIUE responded with a 4-run inning on a sacrifice fly and a trio of hits to take a 4-3 lead in the top of the 2nd. Trailing in the bottom of the 4th, the Redbirds put a pair of runners on the base following a fielder's choice and a single from Karchewski to set up Bakes' 2 RBI double and allow Illinois State to reclaim the lead at 5-4. In the 6th inning, the Cougars pulled a run back to even it at 5. After SIUE tied the contest, Bakes delivered his 2nd extra base hit with a solo home run to push the Redbirds out front 6-5. The Redbirds maintained the advantage the rest of the contest with a combined 3 scoreless frames from Shuto Tiger Okamura, Nolan Gerard, and Reese Clapp. The Illinois State bullpen trio limited the Cougars to just 1 hit in the final 3 innings to secure the victory. The Illinois Fighting Illini fell to Indiana State 4-3 in 11 innings at Bob Warren Field on Wednesday night. Will Johans hit his 5th home run of the year in the 2nd inning, while Jack Zebig tallied his 1st long ball of the season 1 pitch later in the frame. Colin Jennings accounted for the Illini's 3rd RBI of the day. On the mound, Sam Reed, Reed Gannon, and Kyle Remington all posted scoreless appearances. Oliver Martell struck out 4 Sycamore hitters, while Sam Mommer made his 2nd start of the season and went 3 innings while fanning 3. The Illini pitching staff combined for 13 strikeouts, tying the team's season best mark. RJ Barrett scored 23 points. Brandon Ingram had 18, and the Toronto Raptors pounded the Chicago Bulls 139-109 on Wednesday night for their 3rd consecutive win. Scotty Barnes had 18 points and 7 rebounds. Jacoby Walter also scored 18. Mattis Buzelis scored 19 points for Chicago, which lost for the 3rd time in 4 games. Colin Sexton had 14 in his return from a left leg injury. Bulls guard Josh Giddey was held to 9 points, 3 assists, and no rebounds. Toronto put together a fast start, shooting 60% on its way to a 72-45 lead at the break. Barrett scored 14 points in the 1st half, and Ingram had 13 on 6 for 6 shooting. Chicago closed to 53-41 on Sexton's 3-point play with 5 minutes and 20 seconds left in the 2nd quarter, but Toronto responded with a 17-2 run. Barrett's reverse layup made it 70-43 with 1 minute and 8 seconds left. The sluggish Bulls shot 38.5% in the 1st half and committed 11 turnovers, leading to 20 points for the Raptors. Jacob Podol finished with 17 points and a team-high 8 rebounds for Toronto. Sandro Mamashkelavili also scored 17 points. The Raptors are at the Denver Nuggets on Friday, while the Bulls host the Cleveland Cavaliers on Thursday. Joel Farabee and rookie Matvei Gridin scored in a shootout to give the Calgary Flames a 2-1 victory over the St. Louis Blues on Wednesday night. Connor Zary scored early in the first period for Calgary, and Devin Cooley stopped 26 shots. Dylan Holloway tied it for St. Louis early in the second. Joel Hofer made 31 saves. After Farabee scored in the second round of the shootout to give Calgary a 1-0 lead, Coach Ryan Huska turned to Gridin after Jimmy Snuggerud was stopped, and Gridin won it with a shot over Hofer's glove. The unlikely star performer of the opening 40 minutes was St. Louis video coach Elliot Mondu, with the Flames having 3 goals waved off after Blues coaches' challenges. St. Louis had won 8 consecutive games against Calgary. The Blues are at Vancouver on Saturday night, while the Flames host Florida on Friday night. In scores from around the NBA, the Boston Celtics beat the Golden State Warriors 120-99. The OKC Thunder took down the Brooklyn Nets 121-92. The Portland Trailblazers beat the Indiana Pacers 127-119. And the New Orleans Pelicans took down the LA Clippers 124-109. The Minnesota Timberwolves beat the Utah Jazz 147-111. And the Atlanta Hawks beat the Dallas Mavericks 135-120. The Memphis Grizzlies beat the Denver Nuggets 125-118, while the LA Lakers beat the Houston Rockets 124-116. In the NHL, the New York Rangers fell to the New Jersey Devils 6-3, while the Carolina Hurricanes beat the Pittsburgh Penguins in overtime 6-5. The Washington Capitals beat the Ottawa Senators 4-1, while the Dallas Stars beat the Colorado Avalanche 2-1 in a shootout. And the Philadelphia Flyers beat the Anaheim Ducks 3-2 in overtime. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL Sports Wire on your preferred social media platforms, and get local sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4-lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
Paul Skowron here, CEO of Warner Hospital. Spring allergies acting up? At Warner Hospital and Health Services, we offer fast treatment to help you breathe easier and feel better fast. Quality care right here, right now. Click on our icon on DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police splatter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Experience the power of better connection with Connexus Fiber Internet. Connexus delivers ultra-fast, reliable speeds to keep you connected at the speed of life. Whether you're working from home, streaming your favorite shows, or gaming with your friends, Connexus has you covered. Say goodbye to buffering and dropped calls and say hello to fiber fast internet. Ready to upgrade your connection? Sign up today by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. Israel remains in Iran's crosshairs with multiple missiles fired at the Jewish state overnight. At least 3 deaths reported. Iran also continues targeting its Gulf Arab neighbors. War Secretary Hegseth will deliver an update on Operation Epic Fury this morning. Following an occasionally contentious confirmation hearing yesterday, today the Senate Homeland Security Committee could vote to advance Senator Mark Wayne Mullins' Homeland Security Secretary nomination to the full Senate. More than 30 years following his death, sexual abuse allegations have surfaced against United Farm Workers Union leader Cesar Chavez. AAA's national average for a gallon of gas is up 4 cents from yesterday $3.88 a gallon is the national average as of this morning. On Wall Street, Dow futures down 205 points. More details, srnnews.com.
These are uncertain times. Ongoing geopolitical tensions in the Middle East and beyond continue to shake global markets, driving up energy costs and creating widespread volatility. Gold has responded as history shows it does, climbing to new highs as a proven safe haven against inflation and unrest. Silver follows strong, offering even more protection for diversified portfolios. Call True Gold Republic at 800-300-GOLD for your free guide on protecting your retirement. If you're 55 or older, approaching or enjoying retirement, and have significant savings, you understand why stability matters now more than ever. Paper assets can vanish in a crisis, but precious metals have endured for generations. True Gold Republic helps Americans like you protect what you've built with real gold and silver IRAs. Call 800-300-GOLD for your free wealth protection guide today. No obligation, just information. Consult your tax professional before investing. Call 800-300-4653. That's 800-300-GOLD.
From the Hart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local news update. The Clinton Schools Board of Education has approved the new principal for Lincoln and Douglas Elementary Schools. On the WHOW Morning Show Wednesday, Clinton Schools Superintendent Drew Goebel told the Hart Media Group that the Board of Education approved the hiring of Keith Creighton from Dennis Elementary School in Decatur to be the next principal of Lincoln and Douglas Elementary Schools in Clinton.
The hiring of, or the approving of Keith Creighton was probably the biggest thing that was on that agenda. And I'm really excited about that. Yeah, he is from Decatur. He works at Dennis Elementary School. He's been there. He was a teacher at Dennis before becoming their assistant principal. And I think that speaks a lot about him, that he was from Dennis, and then they moved him up to that assistant principal spot. And he's been their assistant, I believe, for 7 years. And I think that was very appealing, not just to me. When we hire principals, it's not just my decision. I'll make that very clear. We have a committee. So there is equal representation from different teachers at both schools. I tried to get, some a kindergarten teacher and like a special ed teacher, and Kara Jensen, the assistant superintendent, she was part of that decision. And then Carrie Veldman, the director of special education. So collectively, we all met, and this go around, we had an amazing, I would call it applicant pool, the people that applied for this position. So it was a tough field, but Keith was clearly the winner. He did an amazing job in that interview.
According to Goebel, Creighton has experience with the transition of combining school buildings, in addition to dealing with at-risk youth, and has a good handle on curriculum.
He does come from Decatur, which has some. I actually worked in Decatur before I came early on my day. So Decatur's a great school district, but there are some challenges. So some high needs, some at-risk kids from Decatur. So he has that background. Clinton, we have some tough kids, some challenges here. So he has that as a background. His knowledge of curriculum was very impressive. So his background, and not just dealing with students, his background in curriculum and instruction and teaching, I felt that his experiences and his answers in talking about that was very impressive.
With the hiring of Creighton, Goebel indicates the district will now begin the search for an assistant principal, a position at Lincoln and Douglas schools. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Ample sunshine expected today with daytime highs approaching 70. Southeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 47. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Tomorrow, highs level off around 75. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Currently, it's 41 degrees.
Hey, it's Shane from Highway 51 Exchange, your mower and equipment service pros just south of Clinton. Click our banner ad on DeWittDailyNews.com or give us a call to schedule your free pickup and delivery today. Highway 51 Exchange.
Longview Community Bank is now open in Clinton. investing in rural Illinois. I'm Vice President Nate Sams. Stop by for a visit or to find out how we provide real local banking. Click our banner ad at the top of the local news page on DeWittDailyNews.com.
Applying the right amount of fertilizer used to involve a fair amount of guesswork. Today, with help from satellite pictures and personal computers, farmers are learning to micromanage their farmland, delivering nutrients where needed with pinpoint accuracy. Precision agriculture boosts productivity and nurtures the soil.
During March 2026, we salute the men and women of American agriculture.
This salute is brought to you by the State Bank of BMED. Your bank today, your bank in the future. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The WHOW Morning Show is now video streamed live on the WHOW WEZC DeWittDailyNews.com Facebook page and on the new WHOW TV YouTube channel. Watch morning show host Seth Lawrence interview guests live, as well as watch archived video podcasts of any interview you missed. Whether on Facebook or YouTube, we're providing 2 more ways that Central Illinois' local news station, WHOW, delivers compelling content for you.
DeWitt County's #1 source for local news is on the air and online 24 hours a day. The latest local news stories are heard every hour on Central Illinois' news station, the Big 1520 AM and 92.3 FM WHOW. Stream live at DeWittDailyNews.com. They're also heard every hour on the station that's your easy choice, 95.9 FM WEZC. And to read the latest local news on your electronic device, including tablets, iPhones, and smartphones, go to DeWittDailyNews.com. DeWitt County's #1 source for local news is on the air, online, 24 hours a day.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Wednesday. I'm Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network. Corn, beans, and Chicago wheat all starting the day in the green. May corn opening 456 1/4, up 2 1/4. July corn 468, up 2 1/2, and December new crop 483 3/4, up 2 pennies. May beans 1160 1/4, up 3 1/4. July beans up 2 1/4, 1173 1/2. And new crop November 1137 1/2, up 6 1/4. May Chicago wheat 597, up 7 1/4. May KC wheat 614 3/4, up 8. May bean meal 312.10, up 40 cents. May bean oil up 67 cents, 66.61. Energy market April crude oil 98.01, up $1.80. Opening numbers on this Wednesday morning. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network.
This is
You're listening to a best of segment of the WHOW Morning Show, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, this is a best of the WHOW Morning Show.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio this morning, Mr. Drew Goebel, Superintendent of Clinton Schools. Good morning, Mr. Goebel. How you doing?
I am good, Seth. How you doing?
I am well. It's got to be a good day to be a Maroon. You've got girls basketball playing for a regional championship tomorrow, and the boys a win last night in Monticello. A couple successful programs going on there.
Absolutely. The girls basketball team, they're on a roll.
What is it, 24 now?
Oh, something like that.
We could have Ben walk in and tell us.
They're fun to watch.
Yeah,
and I think the chemistry between the girls it really makes the team. And I think great coaching, and I just think that those girls have been playing together for so long. It's been great, and the boys as well. They gel well. So shout out to the players for the hard work. The coaching staffs on both programs, girls and boys.
Couple really good coaches there.
I just think and coaching makes a difference. You bring somebody in that the kids really want to win for, want to work hard for. They have that rapport with so hats off to Coach Williams and Coach Bankley.
Sure.
And even the supporting coaches. So
a couple good staffs around those two as well.
Yeah,
a lot of good guys.
So it's an exciting time for the district. And
yeah, very good. And I hope you don't mind me saying this on the radio, but I do see one Mr. Ben Goebel at the YMCA working out after school a lot of days. So I don't know if he does sports or anything, but he's getting after it in the weight room, man. I tell you.
Hey, he's a good kid.
Yeah, he is. He is. I had him in for CEO and saw it's funny. I had him in for CEO, saw him at the gym the next, or maybe next day or two later, and he gave me this look like I know him from somewhere. And I was like, Ben, how you doing, man? And he was like, I know you from somewhere. I said, radio station. And he's like, that's right. So anyways, good kid. Good kid.
No, he's a good kid. I'm super proud of him. You know, all my kids,
he's the last one at home, is he not?
No, I have a freshman.
Oh, okay.
So
That's right. That's right.
But they're growing, the freshman year, you're not quite hitting that point, and then they just shoot up. So but yeah, I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
And it's always, sometimes it can be tough when your dad's in my position and you work for the school. It's always funny on nights that there might be a snow day. Kids are texting them, hey, are we gonna have school? And they're like, I don't know. So
what do you know? Tell us what you know. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm super proud of them.
Yeah,
they're good. They're good kids
for sure. Very good. Well, Mr. Goebel, let's dive into the hot topic of the district lately has been restructuring of Lincoln Douglas schools and getting things set up to move into where you will have basically all grade levels in one building rather than splitting grade levels between the two. Remind us first of all, what's this plan? What's at its core? What is this going to do?
And I'm glad you brought that subject up. So currently we have, and we've talked about this on the radio. And if you've been paying attention to the news, this should not be new information. But for over a decade, all of the preschool, kindergarten, and first grade students have been split up. Half the kids are at Lincoln School over there behind Mach 1, and the other half of the kids are at Douglas School, kind of north of the YMCA. And as a result, we have one principal that literally bounces back and forth between those two schools and does not have an assistant principal. So if there is a need at Douglas, but the principal is at Lincoln, that support is not in place. And I think a key part of my job as the superintendent is to make sure teachers and students are supported. And when you essentially have divided up your resources and split things up, I think it makes it extremely difficult. And several months ago, true story, when the school board approved this decision to combine the schools, that night, the previous principal, I'm not going to say her name, but the previous principal of those schools texted me, thank you. I wanted to do that a long time ago. So this is not a new concept for Clinton. We've been discussing this for many years. And I chose as the superintendent to bite the bullet. It is hard. And I want to commend the staff at both schools for the amount of work and planning and just being good team players. Nobody really, I don't know anybody that likes to move houses. I'm not talking about schools, just like in general. I'm going to move my house from Clinton to somewhere else. You got to pack all your stuff up. You got to go to a new town. You got to unload everything. You got to make new friends. The whole concept of moving, I don't know too many people that just love that. And now, as we're moving schools, we know each other. Mrs. Patrick has done a good job for the building leadership team, having different committees that can have overlap. So it's not as if these teachers are strangers to each other, but they've never worked in the same building, had that other teacher right across the hallway from them. So that is going to be, that's going to be a change, but it is going to be a good change. Having the teachers together to help support each other, that is going to be a good change. The addition of an assistant principal is another staffing need. That's not a new request. That request to have an assistant principal has been asked for years and years. Now, I would not be in favor of just adding an assistant principal but not restructuring so the assistant principal can then bounce back and forth between the two schools. I don't think that's the best plan. But when we combine, and to be clear, the preschool will be at Douglas. So kindergarten and first grade will be at Lincoln School. And that's where the principal will be at most of the time. And then the assistant principal will be at Lincoln School most of the time. And we will also in terms of like student needs, right now we have we call it an SEL, an employee, social emotional learning, works with kids on social skills and just different things and emotional needs. That person right now bounces back and forth. So if a student shows up to school, maybe they've had a rough night the night before, or they just got a lot on their mind, and it just at that moment, learning their sight words or whatever the teacher's focusing on is not exactly what we need to focus on. Maybe it's behaviors that we need to focus on. We have this person that can pull that student out. There's a separate room, and there's other strategies that we're working with to help that student. Because if you're in even adults, if you're upset or if you're frustrated about whatever it is, because life can be difficult, and if you're frustrated, it's probably not the best time to do your taxes. It's probably not the best time to work on whatever you're working on because you're upset. And so that person right now, the SEL person right now, bounces back and forth. So if there's that need at Lincoln, but the person's at Douglas, that's several blocks away. And if a kid,
why not have all these positions like one for each building, like an SEL person for one building?
You know, I suppose you could, but then you're if you have an SEL person here and an SEL person there, you could do that. But then you could have a principal here and a principal there, and again, you could do that. But there is space. But then if you are still if you're still separating everybody, let's just let's say an amazing teacher is at Lincoln School, but we have a brand new teacher, brand new right out of ISU, is at Douglas School. They're separated. So the outstanding shining star of a teacher is literally on the other side of town. But having that shining star teacher in the same building with that brand new teacher can help support them. Again, we have separated we've divided ourselves in terms of resources and supports. So when we combine these two schools, we can help each other out.
Yeah. What is the status of this change? I mean, do you feel like you're in a place where you're going to be on time with the change at the start of the new year?
I commend the teachers for the amount of hard work they've done. We have a committee that meets once a month to hammer out everything from now we're into the stages of moving, you know, how that's going to look, how we're going to box things up. The library in Lincoln School, we are having to do a renovation of the library to make better use of the space. There's different little changes that we've had to do to make that adjustment. Nothing out of this world, nothing astronomical. But
will there have to be cosmetic changes and things like that?
You know, we are putting a wall in the library to create another room, and so and it's I'm trying to think of like the percentage. So it's not like a right down the middle. We're shaving off a small portion. But I'll say this: our librarian Carrie Ray Kaczynski, she's been working her tail off and been an excellent team player in redesigning and in helping with that renovation. We've been fortunate, even our maintenance crew, Ryan Black and Jeff Harold, they are able to do a lot of that renovations in-house. We don't have to hire a contractor to come in. These guys can do plumbing, electrical, drywall. I mean, you name it, those guys, they're like Tim the Tool Man. I mean, they are amazing. But you know, besides that, I look forward to even, you know, having an assistant principal there. We'll have two administrators in the building because let's just say the principal is at a conference. We will still have an administrator to help out if there's a situation. Currently, that does not exist. So I am very proud of the teachers for the amount of work they've done to make this happen. It was not easy, even controversial at times, but we pulled together. The committee that I'm part of, that I sit on that committee, I think we are making excellent gains. I think the positivity that I'm feeling, and maybe I'm living in some fantasy world, but I think the positivity, even within that committee, is teamwork. And again, that committee obviously is made up of teachers on both schools.
Seems like the community's behind it.
Yeah, so I just think it's a good change for Clinton, and I'm very proud of it.
Very good. We'll wrap that up there, Mr. Goebel. Take a break. Mr. Drew Goebel, Superintendent of Clinton Schools, my guest in studio this morning. More to come with Mr. Goebel on the morning show.
WHOW.
March into Baum Chevrolet Buick and march out with a new Chevrolet. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. We have over 20 Silverados to fit your daily work needs in 1500, 2500, and 3500s in gas or diesel, all sale priced. Also, check out the Colorado pickup. This size and maneuverability may be another option as well. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. Baum Chevrolet Buick, right from the start.
Here's Matt Hart, owner of the Hart Media Group in Clinton, talking about continuing to serve the community through new ownership.
Things came together and we reached an agreement to purchase. And as you mentioned, we closed August the 1st. So that's August the 1st. Miller Media Group is now Hart Media Group. And we're continuing to serve the people of Clinton and DeWitt County and Monticello and Bloomington and Decatur and everywhere, because we'll just keep connecting people as we've been doing.
The Hart Media Group looks forward to continuing to serve the community for years to come.
You're listening to a best of segment of the WHOW Morning Show, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, this is a best of the WHOW Morning Show.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, my guests in studio today, Bobby Perryman and Edith Brady Lunny with the Clinton America 250th Celebration Committee. And Bobby, I know that you want to put the call out for those interested in being a vendor at the 4th of July celebration.
Yes, we are currently actively taking applications for vendors, so be a food truck or any kind of a seller, anything like that. If you are interested, if you go to our Facebook page, there is a link to the vendor application. It is $40 per spot, but that is for all 3 days, which is really a good price for 3 days. And if you need an electrical hookup, it's going to be an additional $20.
Okay.
So you're either looking at $40 or $60, but if you are a representative of a local nonprofit or an established member of the Clinton area farmers market, we will waive the fee. We still ask that you fill out the application just so we know who's coming, so we can allocate spots, but we don't have to worry about the fee.
Sure.
And Mackenzie Ruger is the one who is coordinating all of this. So the application needs to go to her no later than May 1st. So you can start sending them in anytime. But May 1st is the deadline. If you follow our link, that will let you download the application. You can fill it out, scan it, and send it back to her. And her email is pops.mckenzie@gmail.com. So that's POPPZ MCKENZIE@gmail.com.
All right, very good. So get that process started. Are you looking for like people selling wares, folks selling food, just raising awareness? What do you?
We're really looking for people selling food because it's always great to have food options, but also any kind of handicrafts or arts or any things that people make. We would love to have them. We like the idea of having a variety. And I already know I've spoken with one of the coordinators of the Clinton area farmers market that the booths you would normally see out there on a Saturday will be there as well.
Okay, so the farmers market will have their
Yes.
setup as well.
They will have their setup as well. And
Okay.
normally they're only on Saturdays, but we've extended to it. They can be there all 3 days if
Oh,
they
great.
like.
Nice.
The square will be closed off to vehicular traffic during the event. So anyone who's doing a setup has to do it before and tear down after the square is cleared out, because we want it to be nice and safe for pedestrians.
Mhm.
But if you are seriously interested in wanting to be a vendor, I suggest you put in your application soon, because the spots around the square are limited.
Okay, gotcha. So make that get that process started if you're interested in that. And Edith, I know we were catching up in the break, and you made a great point that there are communities around the area and probably the country that are just kind of making this not just maybe a week long thing, but they're making this a summer long and a fall long and all those things, and maybe trying to do that in Clinton. What's that look like?
Right. And having a big party on the 4th of July makes perfect sense for this, celebration. But when you want to involve school children and the schools, it's not the best time to get them actively involved. So, we're going to be working with the schools, and hopefully they will have some ideas of how to bring the kids into some events that will, help them to foster an understanding
Right, sure.
of what we are celebrating
Mhm.
this year, the 250th anniversary of
So
signing
would
the
that be like
Declaration of
a
Independence.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Would that be like a something like an activity on campus? Would that be something where like we coordinate a Saturday event for just kids to be a part of? What do
Well, I think it could be any of the above. I mean, it could be classroom projects that they do.
you Oh, sure.
A lot of schools are integrating America 250, and you would think social studies, history classes would be the natural place to do that. But outside of those venues, in the classroom,
Yeah.
we would encourage people, to do that. If we could get some speakers, maybe who are able to speak to a topic that's related to this. I know in the McLean County Museum of History is working up there. They have a wonderful slate of speakers that will be all year long.
They're democracy dialogues,
Their
right?
democracy dialogues
sure.
are terrific.
Mhm.
But that's planned every 3 or 4 months apart. So that will be a year long, just to keep this in people's mind during 2026. It
Yeah.
doesn't all have to just happen
On the 4th of July.
on the 4th of July.
Yeah, for sure. Good, very, very good point. Very good point. Sure. Is that something the committee would take up? Would you want to maybe have them branch, like have a was like ad hoc committee or something
Well,
of that
I
nature?
think if we have more ideas after July 4th, this is a pretty dynamic group, I got to say. I have not worked with some of the people on this committee, but it has been impressive to see the people who are showing up, doing a lot of work in between the meetings. So when they come, they've got things
Everything
ready to
Yeah.
go. And I mean, especially Kenny Atkinson. I said, if you could give a trophy for a event festival organizer,
Sure.
he would. And I've never worked with Kenny before, but he has done a lot of work. And Bobby and the library have taken over his marketing responsibilities, which is huge.
Yeah.
So it's an impressive committee, and I think they would be happy to extend their work beyond the July 4th celebration if we had some more ideas that we could foster in the community.
Sure. And I want to kind of piggyback what you were just saying on a topic we've talked about. I know many times of the last several years, Edith, is just volunteerism and just how that kind of has been waning in small communities like Clinton. And here you have a group of young people, relatively young people. I don't consider myself young anymore per se, but still relatively young. And that was a challenge for communities like Clinton, was to find people to step up and kind of take the baton, if you will, of those that really started like the Celebrate Clinton committee that had to go defunct and all of that. How about those things?
Yeah, well, a lot of groups will be participating in this, and a lot of businesses have really stepped up financially to make these things happen. But you're right, you need a mixture of the age groups. I mean, when we started talking about the bands and they circulated the list, you might as well have given me the Chinese restaurant menu. I didn't know who any of them were except for the Green Diamond band.
Yeah, right.
But so you need people who know those things and can gauge which one should we have and how much do they cost,
Right.
And also Jessica Allhands, she is leading the committee. And Jessica just keeps it all on track so nicely, because you could easily kind of have this, very kind of scattered approach to something, but Jessica's done a great job at,
Yeah,
you
she
know,
keeps us in line.
She keeps us in line. She kind of draws a border around what we're doing and have to kind of say, well, these are all great ideas, but we got to narrow it down. So, I mean, I've just been so impressed with, because I didn't know what to expect. I mean,
Yeah, no, she's doing a fabulous job spearheading all of this.
Right. I mean, I came because the mayor told me I probably should come and be part of it. And I'm really glad I did, because I thought I really didn't know what. But I feel strongly about the parade. I feel that's really going to be a key thing.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, along with 92.3 FM Clinton and 106.5 FM Bloomington Normal.
President Trump is putting Iran on notice. He's threatening to blow up Iran's massive South Pars natural gas field if it doesn't stop attacking Qatar. Israel attacked the Iranian natural gas field yesterday. Mr. Trump says the U.S. was not involved in that.
Iran is intensifying its attacks on its Gulf neighbor's energy infrastructure as it hits back following an Israeli strike on its main natural gas field. Thursday's strikes set Qatari liquefied natural gas facilities and 2 Kuwaiti oil refineries ablaze, and the United Arab Emirates has shut down one of its gas operations. Iran also hit a Saudi refinery on the Red Sea, marking a major escalation in the Mideast war that's sent global fuel prices soaring. The price of Brent crude oil, the international standard, is now up more than 57% since Israel and the US started the war on February 28. I'm Charles.
And at this morning's Pentagon briefing, War Secretary Hegseth said there's no way under President Trump's leadership that the U.S. is going to get dragged into another forever war.
The dishonest and anti-Trump press will stop at nothing. We know this at this point. To downplay progress, amplify every cost, and call into question every step. Sadly, TDS is in their DNA. They want President Trump to fail. But you, the American people, know better.
The president predicts the war will end sooner rather than later. He says energy prices will then drop like a rock. No relief yet from the late winter heat wave. It's gripping the Southwest, and forecasters say it could get even hotter this upcoming weekend. Watching Wall Street, Dow futures down 307 points. The NASDAQ futures off 211 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Health insurance rates are surging in America, leaving millions without affordable options. If you're sick of having paychecks eaten up by healthcare costs or dealing with mega corporations, then listen to this. Christians don't need to waste money on a broken system. That's why I want to tell you about Christian Healthcare Ministries. It's an alternative to traditional health insurance at half the cost. With CHM, fellow believers contribute monthly to help pay each other's medical bills. There's no enrollment period, so you can join anytime. And you aren't restricted to provider networks, so you choose the doctors and hospitals you want. It's that simple. CHM is not insurance. It's a ministry that puts faith into action. Feel the difference of financial support and biblical care from fellow believers. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/wellness. That's chministries.org/wellness.
The jailing of a key opposition figure has unleashed political unrest in Turkey.
Supporters waving opposition banners and Turkish flags gathered in their thousands, chanting messages of support for the detained mayor amid a large police presence. Mr. İmamoğlu, who had been widely viewed as a serious challenger to President Erdogan in the country's next presidential election, is currently on trial, facing numerous charges, including corruption. He denies them all. Mr. Erdogan's government has denied political interference, insisting that Turkey's courts operate independently.
The BBC's Tom Bailey. European Union leaders holding a summit in Brussels to tackle growing fallout from the Iran war, rising energy prices, and a stalled loan for Ukraine. The EU leaders meeting today as fighting in the Middle East rise fears over instability in energy markets. Townhall.com. Although it's been pushed off the front page by the Mideast war, the Jeffrey Epstein case remains the focus of a congressional investigation.
Attorney General Pam Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche went to Capitol Hill to offer a closed-door briefing on the Jeffrey Epstein files. They were seeking to quell bipartisan frustration over the Justice Department's handling of millions of documents related to Epstein's sex trafficking investigation. The Democrats walked out in protest and said they will press to enforce a subpoena for Bondi to appear before the House Oversight Committee for a sworn deposition next month. Representative Maxwell Frost explaining, "We do not trust her." Committee Chairman James Comer accused Democrats of political grandstanding. Ben Thomas, Washington.
As expected, the Federal Reserve holding its key short-term interest rate where it is. Fed Chairman Powell citing increasingly uncertain outlooks for the U.S. economy and inflation. More on these stories, townhall.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Ample sunshine expected today with daytime highs approaching 70. Southeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 47. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Tomorrow, highs level off around 75. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Currently, it's 44 degrees.
March into Baum Chevrolet Buick and march out with a new Chevrolet. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. We have over 20 Silverados to fit your daily work needs in 1500, 2500, and 3500s in gas or diesel, all sale priced. Also, check out the Colorado pickup. This size and maneuverability may be another option as well. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. Baum Chevrolet Buick, right from the start.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4 lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
When it comes to finding primary care, you can be seen at any doctor's office, but at Memorial Care, you're not just seen, you're heard. Our primary care team takes the time to listen to you, building a lasting relationship based on transparency and trust. So when you notice a change in your health, you've got a team that's ready to advocate for what you need. Memorial Care, real connections. Learn more at memorial.health/primary care.
Hey, it's Shane from Highway 51 Exchange, your mower and equipment service pros just south of Clinton. Click our banner ad on DeWittDailyNews.com or give us a call to schedule your free pickup and delivery today. Highway 51 Exchange.
Longview Community Bank is now open in Clinton, investing in rural Illinois. I'm Vice President Nate Sams. Stop by for a visit or to find out how we provide real local banking. Click our banner ad at the top of the local news page on DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWitt County's #1 source for news, obits, police blotter, and Clinton sports is DeWittDailyNews.com. You're listening to a best of segment of the WHOW Morning Show, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, this is a best of the WHOW Morning Show. WHOW. Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio this morning is Connie Miller with DeWitt Savings Bank. Good to see you, Connie. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Seth.
Good to hear. Thanks for coming out and talking with us. Always good to have you in. And what's a conversation with you, Connie, for not talking about scams and what you're seeing at the bank and what folks are running into lately?
Yeah, well, I wanted to talk a little bit today about travel scams. Our family were victims of a couple. One of them I caught and thankfully was not a victim, but I thought it would be a good thing to let people know about because spring break's coming up. People are starting to book. So I thought maybe we'd go through a few few things.
Yeah, let's do it. Sure. What do you have?
Well, talking about like hotels and booking a place to stay. This happened to us. We booked on a website. I don't remember if it was Expedia or hotels.com, something like that. We got to the hotel and they said they didn't have our reservation. And the girl said this has been happening quite frequently. And it was a big site, like I'm pretty sure it's hotels.com. I'm not 100% sure. But we ended up having to pay for another room because we were there. We had nowhere else to go. But we never got our money back. So she said the way the process works is they're supposed to send the money to the individual hotel and they never do. It happens more often than you realize.
Really?
And so you don't have a reservation when you get there.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Because I mean, those are one, they're big advertisers on like major networks and stuff. And you would think that like because of that, they would have some assurances and things like that.
And the business model I know, like for Priceline, is they reserve a certain block of rooms all over America, and that's so they're theirs to sell. So I'm not really sure why that's changed or how that's worked, but we got burned. So luckily it was just 2 nights. It wasn't a big deal. But going back to talking about using those brokers like the hotels.com and stuff like that. I had an experience too that I'm grateful that I booked through the company's website.
Sure.
It was Choice Hotels. And at the time I had a Choice Hotels reward card. That's why I was doing it. And we were doing like a college road trip tour to go visit colleges with my teens. And we were I think we went from Wisconsin to Iowa maybe. And I booked an Econo Lodge and it had all these good reviews. I'm like, well, it's an Econo Lodge, but it's got great reviews. Let's just try it out. Save $40 staying there. And we pull in at night, gravel parking lot, no lights, crusty, gross looking place. And my kids are in the car and they're like, we're not going in there. So I call the 800 number for Choice Hotels. And the person said, you know what? Because you booked through us, you didn't book through another site, we can move you. And he said, there's a brand new hotel a couple miles down the expressway. Why don't you try that one? And we did. It was gorgeous. They honored the price even. And we got a great deal.
So what did you learn in those 2 experiences that you want to pass on to folks?
I would say it's okay to look at those aggregators, those websites to see what hotels are around the area. But when you're going to book, I would consider booking on the actual company's website, not one of those aggregators.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. And I don't know you travel more than I do, so your experience is much more vast than mine. But when I am looking through those websites and I come across, their price versus the actual hotel website, the price is not that substantially different, if I'm being honest.
It usually isn't, or it's the same.
It's the same, yes, 100%.
And sometimes they offer where you don't have to pay first, too. You can book it, and then you can wait up to 24 hours before you go to the hotel. Because who knows, someone might get sick in your family and you can't go. So when you book on a Priceline, you're sort of sunk. You're not going to get your money back.
Right.
But going along with this too, there's been people nowadays with AI, they can make fake websites really easily. So you have to be really careful that you are on the proper website.
Right.
Like American Airlines is literally AA.com. But people don't know that. They might go to a fake one that says AmericanAirlines.com when they're searching, because scammers are now they're paying for Google ads. And then their American Airlines fake site will show up first and not the official website, and theirs will say official website and all that on it too. We had that.
Another reason for me not to click on those sponsored ads on Google. So thank you for that.
Exactly. So like Hilton.com versus HiltonHotels.com.
Sure.
Something like that. So nowadays it's even harder than ever to figure out where you really need to go.
Okay, so how do you know? I mean, how do you know? I don't know.
That's a good question. So usually if you Google Hilton Hotels and then keep looking, you'll see a bunch of like ads or things for the official site. And that will tip you off that that's the right site.
Got it.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. So be aware of those travel scams. And I tell you what, with that, Connie, I mean, I know we were talking off the air, trying to figure out how to tie in, with tax season here and all this extra money people are running into. We were talking about, what do people do with that income that they run into with these tax credits? You said generally buy cars, but I could also see people booking vacations. I mean, that's kind of what we're doing, if I'm being honest. So how about that?
Yeah, some people do use their tax refunds for vacation. First of all, I want to caveat that with that when you have a big refund, you're giving the government money tax-free for a year, right? So if you can get your refund as close to zero as possible, you're pretty much giving yourself a raise. So you have more money during the month to pay your bills and save.
So you're saying don't defer those dollars and get that
Right.
lump sum at the end of the year.
Right. And I think I've
okay.
mentioned this before. I had this past November, we finally got a tax refund from 2020.
Okay.
From 2020, the IRS kept sending me a letter saying, your check is on the way. Your check is on the way every 6 months. And we never got the check.
Okay.
And they finally sent it
Yeah.
November of 2025
Okay.
is when we got it. So that could happen to you too.
Okay.
If you're withholding a lot of money on your paychecks, more than you need to, and you're getting a big refund, a lot of people think, oh, I want this big refund. Well, that money there is sitting at the government and you are not earning any interest on it. Sometimes you might be incurring more debt when you could be paying off your credit card debt if you were giving them less per month. So that most financial advisors will tell you the goal is to be as close as to zero at not having a refund as possible so you can keep that money for yourself.
Oh, okay.
So like to give you an example, I was working with a gal and she was all excited because she got $3,600 this year for a refund and she was going to use it for a trip for her and her daughter. And but she had credit card debt. And we talked about this. I said, if you change your withholding for next year, that's $300 more per month you're giving yourself in your budget. And then you won't need a credit to use your credit card, right? So that's why it's helpful to not have a big refund. Now, some people will because maybe they have an earned income tax credit or some kind of tax credit that has nothing to do with what they're withholding.
I see. Interesting. Connie Miller, DeWitt Savings Bank, our guest in studio for this morning. I didn't mean to divert us from the topic of scams, Connie. What else do you know about scams, or what else have you seen?
Good ones, and they're disturbing. So, a lot of people do VRBO, the Verbo, or Airbnb, and right now people are because of AI, this is really becoming more prevalent, but you think you're renting from the owner, you go on, you book something, but actually someone has taken their ad and their pictures and made it their own. So you're actually renting from a scammer. And then and it could be from the actual Verbo site, or they could go and see a house that's for sale on realtor.com or something like that. They take all the pictures, they make an ad, you pay them money. And then when you get there, you can't get in, or you get in and it's someone's house. Like there was a story I found on YouTube because someone was telling me about this. They went around the house and went inside the house because one of the doors was open. They couldn't find the key, and they went in the house, and the neighbor was like, they're supposed to be on vacation. Why is someone there? And called the guy and then ended up calling the police on these people.
Can I tell you one that I heard this on a podcast the other day, actually. It was a NASCAR driver. Obviously they travel a lot, right? And whenever they travel away from their home base of Charlotte, they always book Verbo. And he was talking about how he had booked a Verbo for him and his family. They had a newborn and all this stuff. And they had all these packages sent for like the baby to this Verbo. And they get there and someone is there already. And they were like, basically like they had to sort out, was the house actually booked by this guy? Was it booked by the people that were already there? He said it was a nightmare to sort through. And Verbo would not do anything for either of them. It was crazy. It was It was one of the craziest stories I've ever heard.
Wow. Yeah. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when you're doing, they say to to ask questions. Make sure you have contact with the owner.
I've contacted the owner many times on
Yes,
those. Yeah.
and make sure there's a legit person. I mean, it's still hard because they could be lying to you regardless. So it's still a hard thing. So people are moving away from Vrbo and Airbnb though, because the fees that they add to their costs. I mean, now they disclose them more prevalently, but people are like, forget it. I'm just going to get a hotel.
How are you if you can't trust a hotel site, if you can't trust Vrbo, how are you supposed to travel, Connie?
That's a great question. And nowadays too, talking about that, people say, well, get an RV. I don't know if you've read, the RV industries has consolidated.
Oh, really?
And there's like 3 major manufacturers, and they pretty much just mass produce junk now. So people's RVs that they're post 2017
really
are garbage.
Oh my.
Like just literally falling apart. The welds aren't working on the frames, everything. So
you know
really
what?
Just stay home.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. My motto of like, I don't want to go anywhere and do anything on the weekends or Friday nights. I'm sticking to it. I'm not going anywhere anymore, Connie. You've convinced me. Just stay home. I love it. Very good. Well, I'll tell you what, there's a lot more to talk about with this topic. If folks want to talk to you about whether it's their budget, if they want to inquire about maybe a scam attempt they've encountered and they want to know if it's legit, how do they get a hold of you, Connie?
You can call the bank. I'm at DeWitt Savings Bank. Our number there, the main number is 217-935-9470. You can contact me, Connie, or someone from our deposit team can help you as well. Just remember that sometimes if you give permission, it may not be considered fraud. And we'll talk a little bit about that one.
Let's do that. Very good. Connie Miller, DeWitt Savings Bank, my guest in studio this morning. More to come with Connie on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
ServPro Team McGuire is proud to be the exclusive sponsor of severe weather coverage across all WHOW platforms, AM, FM, and streaming online, as well as on WEZZ, your easy choice for soft hits at 95.9 FM. Whether it's wind, rain, or even snow, you'll stay informed with severe weather updates around the clock. When severe weather strikes, we break in anytime to bring you the critical information you need to keep your family safe. Brought to you exclusively by ServPro Team McGuire, your local fire, storm, and water restoration experts. Here's Clinton Save-A-Lot owner Dave Jackson on how he works to save you money every day.
I watch the Decatur market very carefully. I stay under these, supposed low-price chains. I make sure I'm under them. So anybody that's rushing to Decatur or other towns to buy commodity items like flour and sugar and milk and eggs and things that matter are fooling themselves. We are cheaper or as cheap on all the items that matter, and I make sure of that.
And as Dave always says,
hope to see you soon.
Looking for a provider who puts your health first? SIU Family Medicine is accepting new patients. Call 217-735-2317 today to schedule your first appointment. That's 217-735-2317. SIU Medicine, forward for you.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
You're listening to a best of segment of the WHOW Morning Show, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, this is a best of the WHOW Morning Show.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today is Connie Miller with DeWitt Savings Bank, here to scare everybody out of traveling ever again. Connie, we were talking in the break. I told you I booked a Vrbo for a trip we're taking later this year, and now I'm like, is this even real? Can I trust that I booked a legit place?
And you brought up a good point. Something I would tell all your listeners is look at the reviews. They should have legit reviews from years, that you can page through, and they look honest, look for details in them and make sure they're legitimate reviews. I hate to tell you this, but I avoid any new listings. If there's not a bunch of reviews on it, I won't even look at it.
But what if it was like just built a new listing?
Right.
Like I can't even trust that.
I wouldn't. Sorry.
You know what I'm going to do, Connie?
Go
I'm just
back.
packing up the dog. I'm going to
Go
throw a
drive down
tent on the top of the car, and I'll just backpack it. I'll just the heck with it. I'll just
In the future, I
I'll
would
just
not do
backpack.
that because you have no track record of whether or not like they're good hosts, if the place is really there,
Yeah.
you know, all of that. That's why I always check. I even sort by reviews.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like dates available, how many
Mhm.
beds we need, and then reviews
Mm.
and read the reviews.
Mm.
And because there's sometimes you might book a place, like we went to Gatlinburg and it was not my favorite place, but it was sort of not my style. Like I was like, oh, I don't know if I like the decor in it,
Mhm.
but it got really good reviews and it was in a nice location. So we ended up booking it anyway.
Connie, you're just making me feel like I've fallen into a scam. I was so excited about this trip, and now I'm like,
sure it's fine.
no, you're not sure it's fine. You're like, do this and this and this. All right, we got to get back to the topic at hand. More scams.
Okay, I have another one.
Yes.
This one is really disturbing, and I want people to know about it because it happened to me. And I don't even understand how they knew. It was the morning of my flight. And I don't even remember where I was going, but the morning of my flight, I get a text and it says that my flight's been canceled. And it's like, how can it be canceled? It's really nice out. I don't see why it would be canceled. So I went on my app, the airline app, and it said it was on time. And so then I checked on FlightAware. It's like a website. You can see which flights are going where. And I'm like, it looks like it's coming to the Peoria airport. So I think I'm fine. But then I did a little Googling to find out more information. And there are scammers who somehow know what you're booked. They must have some way to dive into the reservation systems for these airlines.
They've
you
hacked
get
the
a-
airline system,
Yes,
basically.
yes.
Yeah.
So I also got an email too, and it said that my flight was canceled. So these people are texting or emailing saying your flight's canceled. Call this number. We'll rebook. I did not do that. Other people have done this. They call the number. It's a fake. It's not real. And they rebook you and they charge you for this rebooking because most people do economy where there's no changes, blah, blah, blah. And usually if the flight's canceled, they're going to change it for you and get you on a different flight. But these people will say, oh, well, it's your responsibility to pay the upgrade or, the change fees or whatever. And then they will send you an email and you have to approve it to rebook.
Right.
Well, you are giving permission for them to charge your credit card. Even though it's fraud, the credit card company says you gave them permission and they will not take away the charges for that.
Yeah. You basically verified it for them.
Yes. And so there was a fellow who did that. His family was going to Europe and he spent $17,000 rebooking tickets for his large family.
Brutal.
He looked really rich, but still, I was like, that's
He
horrible.
could absorb it.
Yeah, but that's just horrible. So if that happens to you, go on your app or go on the official website and verify.
Oh, Connie,
Yeah, sorry about that.
you are just bringing in the scaries today. I tell
do.
you.
I have a couple other scary ones that this one's sort of like.
By the way, I've got a minute and a half. So go ahead. Yeah.
So when you go to the airport, you know how they have those little ports where you can put your phone in and you can charge your phone?
They're mining data.
Yes.
No way.
And I saw this video this guy did, and he had someone do that, and he showed how quick and easy it was to put something in to those little ports. And then he had this news reporter put his phone in it, and in like 30 seconds, he knew his wife's name, his wife's phone number, every email he's ever made through that phone, all of his texts. He had his bank account and routing number and his password in like 30 seconds. So don't use those.
Oh my.
And they say if you're going to use something, you know how there's just an outlet on the wall, you can put your charger thing in there, like the old school plug, not the USB, or you can do those banks, the the charger banks for yourself. Now some people are like, but how do we know? We ordered that on Amazon. Is it legit or is it like got stuff? We don't know. Yeah. I just wanted to make your day today.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not charging my phone ever again. I'm not traveling ever again. I'm not using credit cards. Connie, you've basically turned me into
a hermit.
Yeah. How do folks call you at DeWitt Savings Bank, Connie?
It's 217-935-9470. If they have any questions on this, they can definitely call.
Sure, very good. I'm not sure you're going to be getting a lot of calls these days, Connie, but at any rate, we appreciate you making time for us. Connie Miller, DeWitt Savings Bank, our guest in studio. Network News on the way.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. President Trump is threatening Iran with dire consequences if it launches more attacks on a liquefied natural gas facility in Qatar. The president's threat follows an Israeli strike on Iran's South Pars gas field and Iran's response to that attack. Oil prices continue to rise. International prices briefly touched $119 per barrel this morning. That's fueling an ongoing increase in gasoline prices here at home and abroad. Prices in the U.S. nationally averaging 4 cents a gallon more this morning than yesterday. Democrats' refusal to fund the Transportation Security Administration is seriously snarling air travel, as airport screeners who are not getting paid are not showing up for work. The opening bell just sounding on Wall Street now, stocks starting off the day sharply lower. More details, srnnews.com.
A Social Security update. 70 million Americans collect Social Security benefits today, and millions more will join soon. Now, a new study finds 70% of Americans don't get the full benefits they deserve. But recipients can use simple strategies to boost Social Security benefits by as much as $188,000 over a lifetime. Social Security expert Michael Allen says it's true and reveals 5 key strategies to increase your benefits. It's all in his free special report. Newsmax calls the report your best guide for bigger Social Security benefits. Whether you're getting benefits or soon will, you need the Social Security report. Get it free. Call 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. We'll text it to you right away, along with President Trump's act cutting your Social Security taxes. Call now, 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. Text and data rates may apply.
From the Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local news update. The Clinton America 250 Committee is looking to pack the square full of activities, attractions, and vendors this July 4th weekend. Bobby Perryman explains that the committee is actively accepting vendor applications for this summer's big celebration. The application costs $40 to submit, and it covers you for all 3 days. She notes that established members of the Clinton Farmers Market or those representing a local nonprofit will have the fee waived.
We are currently actively taking applications for vendors, so be a food truck or any kind of a seller, anything like that. If you are interested, if you go to our Facebook page, there is a link to the vendor application. It is $40 per spot, but that is for all 3 days, which is really a good price for 3 days. And if you need an electrical hookup, it's going to be additional $20.
Okay.
So you're either looking at $40 or $60. But if you are a representative of a local nonprofit or an established member of the Clinton area farmers market, we will waive the fee. We still ask that you fill out the application just so we know who's coming, so we can allocate spots. But we don't have to worry about the fee. And Mackenzie Ruger is the one who is coordinating all of this. So the application needs to go to her no later than May 1st. So you can start sending them in anytime. But May 1st is the deadline. If you follow our link that will let you download the application, you can fill it out, scan it, and send it back to her. And her email is pops.mckenzie@gmail.com. So that's POPPZ.MCKENZIE@gmail.com.
While the committee is hoping for a good turnout when it comes to food vendors, Perryman indicates that applications are open to those selling arts and crafts and farmers market vendors as well. She adds that those interested should get their applications in before spots fill up.
We're really looking for people selling food because it's always great to have food options, but also any kind of handicrafts or arts or anything that people make. We would love to have them. We like the idea of having a variety. And I already know I've spoken with one of the coordinators of the Clinton Area Farmers Market that the booths you would normally see out there on a Saturday will be there as well. They will have their setup as well. And they're normally they're only on Saturdays, but we've extended to it. They can be there all 3 days.
You can find the link to the applications on the Clinton Celebrates America 250 Facebook page. Applications should be submitted to pops.mckenzie@gmail.com as soon as possible. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Ample sunshine expected today with daytime highs approaching 70. Southeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 47. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Tomorrow, highs level off around 75. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Currently 50.
Add up the value of all the farmland, equipment, livestock, poultry, crops, machinery, and so forth, and you've got an industry with assets of more than $4.5 trillion, responsible for over 5% of our gross national product. During March 2026, we salute the men and women of American agriculture.
This salute is brought to you by Maroa Ag Service, specializing in soil fertility, crop protection, and seed sales.
The Illinois Emergency Management Agency has designated WHOW's many platforms on AM and FM, as well as WEZC 95.9 FM, as standby radio stations for emergency messages to be sent for severe weather, as well as for the Clinton Power Station. We also have a direct link to the National Weather Service for watches or warnings to air immediately when they're issued. Keep yourself and your family safe by tuning into the WHOW platforms on AM, FM, or streamed online, as well as on WEZC 95.9 FM.
WHOW is Central Illinois' ag station, and that includes providing farmers information on how the commodity markets close each day and week. I'm Todd Gleason from Illinois Public Media, University of Illinois Extension, inviting you to hear the daily closing market report weekday afternoons at 5:06, and on Saturdays, tune in for Commodity Week with a review of the week's markets at 8:30 in the morning, all on WHOW, AM, FM, and streamed online.
Paul Scourin here, CEO of Warner Hospital. Spring allergies acting up? At Warner Hospital and Health Services, we offer fast treatment to help you breathe easier and feel better fast. Quality care right here, right now. Click on our icon on DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police splatter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
You're listening to a best of segment of the WHOW Morning Show, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, this is a best of the WHOW Morning Show.
Central Illinois. WHOW.
It's the WHOW Morning Show. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guests in studio in this segment, Troy Lashbrook, captain of the Kenny Fire Department, as well as Michelle Trunnell, the regional manager with Impact Life. Michelle, we'll start with you. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Great. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us on the morning show here today. Let's just talk a little bit about what Impact Life is for anyone who may not know.
Sure. Impact Life, we are the local blood bank. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We are throughout 4 states, Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
We serve over 120 hospitals, and all of those are local. So when you donate with us, you're donating with your local community.
Yeah, gotcha. What's your background with Impact Life? How long have you been with the organization?
So I've been here about 2.5 years. I started off as an account manager, and then I just recently moved into the regional manager position.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. What are some of your new responsibilities?
It's helping all my account managers grow our donor base, our blood drive partners so we can keep a regular supply of blood for the hospitals.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As I said, we're also joined by Captain of the Kenny Fire Department, Troy Lashbrook. Troy, how you doing this morning?
Not too bad. Morning.
Good. Thank you again for taking time for us today. Let's talk about your connection and the Kenny Fire Department's connection to Impact Life. Why are you guys here together today?
Like Michelle said, one of our biggest reasons with going with Impact Life is that your donation will stay local. Chances are somebody you know, you will get the help.
Yeah.
And that was a great selling point to us.
Yeah, definitely. So Impact Life, you guys made the switch to use them for all of the blood donations and all of those things for emergencies. And it's an opportunity coming up real soon for people to come and donate blood and know, like you said, that blood is going to stay local in communities right here in DeWitt County. Let's jump into this blood drive. Let's just start with the when. When is it coming up?
It's going to be Friday, April 3rd. That's Good Friday. We do one Good Friday every year. It's the only one that we host.
Mm-hmm.
It's from 11:15 to 6:30 at the Kenny Firehouse.
Gotcha. So the name of that you have on the flyer here is Heroes for Life. I'm curious where that name came from.
Impact Life. It was their motto.
Gotcha. Michelle, so tell us a little bit about that motto.
Yeah, for sure. We like to recognize our partners based on what they do for the communities.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought Heroes for Life was very fitting for our volunteer fire department here in Kenny. All the advocacy they do when they host this blood drive. They ask every single person they run into if they want to donate blood at their blood drive. They collect anywhere between 100 and 150 units in one day.
Wow.
So they definitely deserve that.
Yeah. Give us a little bit of maybe context on how much blood that truly is. How many people can that help?
Definitely. So blood is made up of multiple components, 3 components. So if you just take that number, say we collect 100 just for flat numbers, that can be 300 components out in the community to help people in need.
Wow. So that really has a big impact, Troy. Let's speak to, you said that a big decision or a big part of the decision to go with Impact Life is keeping that blood local. Why is that important? Why do you think that's a value?
To us, we want to help the people in our communities.
Mm-hmm.
And most people that come to donate with us, that's their reason for coming.
Yeah.
Just like making a monetary donation to the high school or something, it's going to stay right here.
Gotcha. Yeah. So how does the community support the fire department in other ways? This is a fantastic way, not just to support the fire department, but the community. Speak to that support for the fire department.
I can't say enough about our people in our fire district. They really support us with donations. Anytime we've had a fundraiser, they come and help. Case in point, just let's talk about the blood drive. Kenny is a town of roughly 300 people, and we're getting 100 plus units of blood. So that's pretty amazing out of a small community. Now we pull them in from all over, but to get that many units out of a small community is pretty awesome.
Yeah. What kind of feedback have you gotten about the blood drive over these past years?
It's mostly good.
Yeah.
Impact Life has been great to work with. They make sure they bring enough crew. We have, for the most part, very little wait times. If you schedule an appointment within 5 minutes of your appointment time, you're usually on a table.
Great.
They just do a really good job of making sure there's enough staff, enough equipment. I can't say enough good about them.
Yeah. Gotcha. Michelle, let's add on to that. Speak to the logistical side of it. What does it look like for you guys to set up a blood drive somewhere?
Yeah. So it takes a lot of legwork in the background that I didn't know before I got here.
Yeah.
Most people don't think about, but it's scheduling the staff, the time frames. We got to think about turnaround times, how many staff we need, by how many units we want to goal and collect, bringing all of the equipment. And we have great teams that have all that organized, unload everything, set it up, tear it down, and they work, the whole time.
Gotcha. So when the blood is collected and all that work has been done, where do we go from there?
Then it goes to be tested. Each unit collected is tested for various things to ensure it's safe to put out then to the hospitals to be used by the public.
Yeah, gotcha. So how do you guys ensure that this blood stays local, and why do you guys focus on that so much?
So I think it's just important to focus on where you're at. We have been able to connect with the local hospitals and provide them the good service, the amount of blood units that they need, and that's really what keeps the partnerships going.
Gotcha. Speaking of keeping things going, Troy, you guys have made a change to go with Impact Life with the blood drive. And what inspires you guys to keep it going and keep it growing to that effort?
Actually, one of our members, about 8 years ago, he said, I want to do a blood drive.
Yeah.
So it actually was Fritz Robinson's idea. I volunteered to help him. It's something that's actually very dear to me and Fritz and I should say. We've gotten Kerry Coles to jump on board, and Fritz's son, Brian, also has jumped on board with this. We just try and set goals every year and beat them. I had a goal a couple of years ago. I wanted the largest blood drive in the state of Illinois. We can't compete with the Chicago and St. Louis markets.
Fair enough.
But we accomplished that.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, we were told we had the largest community blood drive in 4 states.
Wow.
And again, that's all thanks to the community, Fritz's forethought of wanting to do it, and he picked this day.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It's just been amazing.
Yeah. So, as we are getting ready for this blood drive, which is once again coming up on April 3rd, speak to the logistics side of it for you guys. What does it look like to take time out of the day for the fire department to be able to have this?
Actually, Michelle can vouch for this. I'm usually emailing them in December.
Wow. Yeah.
Hey, we need to get going on this. Then the members of our department, it's all about advertising. If you drive around Clinton here pretty soon, you're going to start seeing all the electric signs light up with Kenny Fire Blood Drive, April 3rd. Those businesses and schools, I mean, they're great to work with. There's probably not many businesses you can go into that you won't see one of our flyers.
Yeah.
You can get all the information there. There's QR codes. Then it takes about 2 days to get our station cleaned and disinfected to make sure it's safe for everybody to be in there to do this type of thing. That just takes a lot of sweat.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of guys come in and help.
Yeah. Speak to that buy-in from, your firefighters who are not only helping, with the cleaning and the preparation, but also who are, I don't want to say getting put out, but they have a little bit different of a situation if they have to go respond to a fire, right?
It happens every year. We get at least one call every year, whether
Yeah.
it's fire or a medical call. Hopefully, you hope for the best, plan for the worst. But yeah, I mean, Michelle can attest that before the drives even started, we've pulled trucks out and had to go to work.
Yeah.
We leave enough crew to help them. We try to have firefighters escort the donors from one room to the next, just to help keep them moving. And but yeah, it never fails. Phones always drop on that day sometime.
Yeah. Michelle, speak to that kind of situation from the perspective of Impact Life. What happens when there's an emergency during one of these events?
Yeah. So one of the good things is that we as Impact Life, we prepare to have a lot of our staff, like it's kind of all hands on deck for this day in our area. So we have a lot of hands on. So if they need to go, we can make sure we cover everything and everything will still run as smoothly as possible.
Absolutely. Well, I look at the clock. It's about time for us to take a break. More to come with Captain Troy Lashbrook of the Kenny Fire Department and Michelle Trunnell, Regional Manager of Impact Life on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
For more information.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn, beans, and Chicago wheat all higher at this hour. May corn up 4 3/4, 468. July corn up 478.5, and December new crop 493.5, up 3 3/4. May beans 1162.5, up 3/4. July beans up 1 1/4, 1177 3/4, and new crop November 1146.5, up a nickel. May Chicago wheat 606 3/4, up 2.5. May KC wheat down 2 pennies, 6.24. May bean meal 331.80, up 10.10. May bean oil down 8 cents, 65.45. Livestock trade March feeders 357.05, down $1.67. April live cattle down to $1.72, 233.67. April lean hogs 93.02, down 72 cents. Energy market May Brent crude oil up 390, 111.28. RFD Radio Network.
This is Seth Lawrence, News and Program Director for WHOW and WEZC. We take pride in being Clinton and Central Illinois' local radio stations each and every day, 7 days a week. What does local news mean? Here's a sample.
This is a topic that myself and the other law enforcement leaders that you have on the show frequently are talking about.
It's been really fun. He's a really funny character, and I like the screen time that I get.
Well, we're kind of ground zero for storm development today.
It's going to be Friday, April 3rd. That's Good Friday. We do one Good Friday every year. It's the only one that we host.
We know this is going to be a big deal, and we're going to try to do some cool things in Farmer City to help celebrate that.
You hear the local people that make the news every day, 7 days a week on the big 1520 AM, 92.3 FM, and 106.5 FM WHOW, and on your easy choice for soft hits, 95.9 FM WEZC. You're listening to a best of segment of the WHOW Morning Show, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, this is a best of the WHOW Morning Show.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
It's the WHOW Morning Show. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. We continue with my guests in studio in this segment, Captain Troy Lashbrook with the Kenny Fire Department and Michelle Trunnell, the Regional Manager of Impact Life. And we are talking the Heroes for Life blood drive coming up on April 3rd. And, you know, one thing that we had mentioned in the first segment, but we want to hit on again, is that every year this is hosted on Good Friday. And Michelle, tell us a little bit more about why that's impactful for you guys.
Yeah, so when it comes to blood donation, we see a downturn in donors during holidays. We also see it during summer months, winter and weather that can deter donors from going out, or we can't get there and the drives could be canceled. But the holiday is very important. So this has a huge impact on what's provided to our local community hospitals. Collecting this much on a Good Friday has a huge impact with our community.
Gotcha. Yeah, you wouldn't always think that a holiday, maybe like Good Friday, which is not celebrated by everybody, that you wouldn't have that much of a downturn, but that's not quite true.
Right. Anytime there's a holiday, people have other plans. They're not, taking the time or making a plan to set a blood donation appointment. And so we really got to do our legwork in reaching out to donors to ensure they know where they can donate on these days.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to move over to one more thing that we were talking about in the break, and that was small town people helping small town people. And Troy, you guys were laughing about this a little bit in the break. Tell me where this phrase comes from for you guys.
That comes from one of the better speakers that couldn't make it today. Casey coined that phrase a couple years ago, and it just sticks, and it's a good phrase.
Yeah.
You know, you want to come out, help your fellow residents. Doesn't cost you any money, just a little bit of your time. And you can accomplish that in about an hour.
Yeah. You know, whether it's the blood drive or in other efforts, and whether it's the fire department or just the community of Kenny, where do you see that, really taking place?
Obviously, the blood drive is a really good thing. I don't know how to explain it. Just the way people in the community of Kenny, since that's where I live, it's a very close-knit community, and if somebody's having an issue, there's 4 residents there trying to help them out, whether they're on the fire department or not.
Yeah.
And it's good to see.
Yeah, definitely. Michelle, it's the same question to you. I'm sure in this line of work, you've gotten to go around to a lot of different small towns. How do you see this, small town people helping small town people kind of taking place?
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see actually. For my side, educating people on the need for blood donation and what a big impact it is probably one of my favorite things about the job. We have communities that will have a church host per se. If they don't bring in quite enough donors, then they'll reach out to another church in the same town, do an alternating blood drive every 56 days to help those numbers increase, just to bring in more. In the event there's a adult or child that's ill, you see a big support in that as well. So there's really all different ways, and once people really get the word out, you see them show up.
Yeah, that's really the impact part of Impact Life, right?
Right. It really is.
Yeah. So, as I mentioned, I'm sure you've gotten to go around and see a lot of different places around central Illinois and around the Midwest in this line of work. Speak to the scope of Impact Life. You guys are doing a lot of work here in DeWitt County and in Kenny, but where else are you guys helping out?
Yeah. So in our immediate area, we have donor centers in Springfield, Decatur, Peoria, Champaign-Urbana, and we have mobiles then all over as well. So if we don't have a donor center, you're going to find a blood drive that we either have on a bus or a business organization is hosting.
Nice. Do you guys have a place where people can, find where those are coming up?
Definitely. If they go to our website, which is bloodcenter.org, and if they just go to locations, they can type in their zip code and find their nearest blood drive.
Gotcha. Troy, I'm curious, we still have a few minutes left here. With the blood drive, you had mentioned your goals, earlier that you guys have a goal each year. Tell me a little bit about what your hope for the blood drive is this year.
Obviously, we want to continue to grow. Last year, I think we were, 130?
It was
132, something like that. It would be awesome to hit 200 units.
Yeah.
But you got to get people to sign up.
Yeah.
So I doubt that we'll get that this year, but we will be working towards that goal.
Gotcha. Well, here's the call right here. Where do people give us the when and the where once again for this blood drive?
Again, it's at the Kenny Fire Department, Friday, April 3rd from 11:15 to 6:30 p.m. You can contact Impact Life directly. Fritz, myself, Casey, or Brian. Our phone numbers are posted all over the place.
Gotcha.
Come on out. It's something very dear to Kenny. We only do the one a year because of our work schedules. Most of our department are farmers and have other jobs and stuff. So it's hard to do more than one. So we put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into making this one work.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're just about out of time. Troy, Michelle, any things that we didn't get to today you want to put out there?
Good.
Awesome. Well, once again, that is Captain Troy Lashbrook of the Kenny Fire Department and Michelle Trunell, the Regional Manager of Impact Life on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, along with 92.3 FM Clinton and 106.5 FM Bloomington Normal.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. Republican Senator